Hey, everybody, welcome to the weekend edition of Sports Frenzy 2.0. I am the maestro, Kevin Crane.
I'm the conquistador, Dave. Hi.
We're taping here on the 22nd of September. This will hit the morning of the 25th, and we have got a ton for you, especially concert news, concert reviews.
Oh, baby, do we ever.
The
Good
conquistador
stuff.
is back. He's got two concert reviews. We've got one together, which we're going to start off with. The mighty Judas Priest and Sabaton
Oh, good show.
in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Took the boys to see this one, and they totally geeked out and loved every minute of it. I think we would all agree that we just wish we would have listened to Sabaton before going in.
Yeah, I would really would have liked to have listened to them a little bit more to hear the lyrics. They are an interesting band, to say the least.
Yes, from Sweden. We knew we were going to be in for a good show when we're sitting there beforehand and we look at the stage and their drum kit is set up on the riser that looks like a freaking tank.
Yeah, I did not even think, being the naive person that I am, I thought it was a tank. I did. I thought they'd roll it right out when the show was done.
Nope, within 10 minutes, that whole thing was dismantled.
Yeah, we watched them dismantle it, and it's definitely a facade, but it was still cool beyond belief.
They are an engaging group. Their front man is really damn good.
Yeah, all the songs are about heroism in war and combat.
Yep, all combat throughout the ages. One song is The Red Baron. Another one is Verdun. They do stuff going back to the Vikings. Really, really damn good.
And their vocal stylings play into the whole military thing, where it sounds like military chanting almost when they hit the choruses.
Like you're doing the march.
Right. Yeah. That's what impressed me the most. Again, like Dave said, I wish I could have prepared more for them. So that's on me. You know,
that's on all of us.
Should have listened to them more beforehand. I was more worried about listening to Judas Priest, and I still screwed that up, which we'll get to in a second.
But no, Sabaton was really, really good. Yeah, I was impressed.
Sabaton played for just short of an hour. And they really, one of the opening acts that deserved to get the extra time.
Yes, definitely. They deserve that extra time. They were really damn good.
Right.
A definite up-and-comer. Check them out. They are well worth listening to.
Yeah, and luckily we avoided all the pitfalls and the disasters and the catastrophes that we dealt with the week before at Guns N' Roses.
We were not reassigned seats.
But that was the sad thing. The sad thing was,
oh God,
we've been to Van Andel Arena in Grand Rapids, Michigan multiple times, probably 10 to 15 times minimum.
Yeah, and it's almost always a sellout.
Lower deck and upper deck.
Yeah.
For this one, there were no seats sold in the upper deck from what we could tell.
Yeah, no, there weren't.
And even the lower bowl was not sold out.
No, it was probably, God, not even half full.
Yeah, I would say maybe 3,000 to 4,000 total.
Yeah, it
was depressing.
For it being Judas Priest, it was kind of depressing to have such a small turnout.
Right. You can blame COVID. You can blame whatever you want. But this was really, really pathetic to me. The crowd that was there was into it. And I was thinking about this today. I think they made a lot of money back on the merch.
Oh,
because almost everybody that was in that crowd bought a shirt.
Yeah, either for Judas Priest or Sabaton. There were a lot of people who bought both.
Right. So I think they made a lot of money back on the merch. But it was still unbelievably sad. Being a classic rock fan like me, like Dave.
The 50th anniversary of Judas Priest.
And they couldn't get the stadium half full.
Yeah, it was
that was really depressing. Now, that being said, kudos to both Sabaton and Judas Priest for still putting on an unbelievable show.
Yeah, and the crowd that was there responded big time. So I think the appreciation was there for it.
Yeah, and they could have been assholes. If they wanted to, they could have said, hey, we'll play a bare minimum set. We'll duck out hour and 20 minutes. We've seen that before with Cheap Trick.
Right.
Where they just bail out the soonest they can.
Yeah. No, they went the full set. And I will say, Sabaton, I don't know how many shows they've done, but they were really digging how the crowd was into them and feeding off.
Well, there was the old guy who stood up before Sabaton came out, and he was obviously an old school fan like me.
Old school Judas Priest guy.
Yeah, and he's like, all I see is goddamn Sabaton shirt. Do you people know who the hell Judas Priest is?
Does anybody know who Judas Priest is?
We did. That's who Dave and I were there
my
for.
My boys stood up, 18 and 20, going on 21, and said, Priest!
Yeah, but Nick knew who Sabaton was. Your youngest did know Sabaton.
Yes.
Okay, so that being said, we move on to the highlight of the night. Judas Priest played for an hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah.
I love the set. Metalworks, basically. JP Metalworks was the theme.
Yeah.
With all the canisters and the barrels and
everything. You felt almost like you were in a steel factory.
Right. Now, the set list, I will question to a point. Not just because I'm bitter about the one song.
You did not get Screaming for Vengeance.
Oh, well, I didn't get Heading Out to the Highway.
No, that's one.
That was the big one.
That was the big one that they did not.
I did not expect Screaming for Vengeance. If I'd gotten it, I'd have been happy.
Yeah.
But the fact I didn't get Heading Out to the Highway, that downgrades the whole show.
Hurt. That hurt.
That hurt.
That hurt bad.
Now we got everything else.
Yep.
Pretty much everything else we wanted. They screwed around. The drummer came out.
Oh my God.
After Invader and said, we got one song left. And this was only an hour and 10 minutes in, kids.
Yeah.
They said, we got one song left. What do you want to hear? And we're so far back. Even though we had good seats, we're still far back. We couldn't hear what people are screaming, but they hadn't played Breaking the Law yet. They hadn't played Hell Bent for Leather yet. They hadn't played Delivering the Goods. So, these people are all screaming all these different songs, and the guy says, oh, the hell with that, and they go into...
He goes, what do you really fucking want to hear?
And, of course, they said Painkiller.
Yeah.
So they go into Painkiller, and, of course, the boys...
That made my youngest, Nick, absolutely ecstatic. That was the one song he was dying to hear.
But, of course, after a really brief break.
Very brief. It was pretty much just enough time for them to go suck down a bottle of water and come back out.
Then we got Hellion and Electric Eye.
Yep.
We got Hellbent for Leather. We get Breaking the Law. And then we get Living After Midnight.
Yeah.
So, of course, you can't argue with that as an encore. They'd already played You've Got Another Thing Coming early.
Yeah,
which kind of shocked us.
I was surprised that we got that one that far off the bat. Turbo Lover was early on, too.
Right. I will give the show 3.5 frenzies.
That's where I'm at on that as well. I will concur.
Great show.
It could have been a 4
if we'd gotten the one song.
If we'd gotten the one song. If we'd have gotten Head Out on the Highway.
Yeah, I think it's very tough for me to compare this one with the GNR show from last week.
Yeah.
But they were both phenomenal.
Yeah.
Both. And these are the types of shows that I buy tickets for.
I have to say, I have to give it up for Rob Halford and his voice. After every song, he went probably to get a drink of water, And I don't know how many damn jackets he changed into and out of.
Oh, and he would come out singing. He'd already be into the second verse.
Yeah, when he came out, he was already he was singing as he came out, but damn, his voice was strong.
Yeah.
And damn if he couldn't scream out the high-pitched lyrics.
Yeah.
I was impressed as hell.
Yeah,
At
he
70
was
years
phenomenal.
old, he was on it.
And he came out on the bike.
He came out on the bike for Hell Bent for Leather.
Yep.
We were hoping for it. We got it. It was beautiful.
So I will not complain, even though, again,
one song.
I will not complain. Great show. Everything I hoped it would be. Thank the gods that COVID did not interfere with this one. So we got it. It's done. It's in the books.
Kudos.
All right. Your turn.
The night before, as we tape here, this was the Wednesday before here we're taping.
So
locally,
the
15th of September. Locally, we got to see Mrs. C and I went to the Shinedown concert. We had Aaron Jones and the Struts open. And if you haven't heard Aaron Jones, this is an up-and-coming band. These guys from Seattle are incredible. They have just that hint of the old grunge. They have the R&B vibe, and they have the true full-out rock and roll run. So their newest album is out. I can't think of the name of it offhand, but they're big.
And we heard
singles.
A little bit from them on the way back from Judas Priest.
Take Me Away was the first one. Then they had Mercy, and the big one now being played is Supercharged. And they had a 35-minute set. Aaron Jones as a lead singer and lead guitarist. This guy is going to be, he is the next great guitarist. He did the Van Halen finger tapping. He took one of the drumsticks and was playing with that, bouncing it around, not missing a note. The guy is really damn good. Watch out for him. Ending the night, they ended with Purple Rain. And abso-freaking-lutely nailed it as an homage. I will give them a 3.5 on their own. They were really damn good. Then the Struts. This is the third time that Mrs. C and I have seen the Struts, and this is Mrs. C's favorite band right now. We saw them open for the Foo Fighters, and then we saw them again as they headlined their own little tour. And this was the first show they had with Shinedown. In an interview, we heard Shinedown's drummer. Shinedown's big Struts fans, and they couldn't be happier to have had them join the tour with them. So that kind of tells you, kind of check them out.
Well, I've seen the Struts twice with you guys.
Yeah.
This was just kind of, for me, just an overload. I just didn't want to see them a third time. I don't know much about Shinedown. The Aaron Jones thing sounds very intriguing. As I just mentioned here, we heard them as we came back from the Judas Priest concert on the radio.
Yeah, Supercharged was playing.
Right. They sound very good. I want to check them out. The Struts are great, but Dave and I, we call it the poison syndrome.
Right.
When you see one band too often in too compressed of a time period, you feel like you're destroying your love for that band.
Yeah.
You just got to back off. And that's how I am with the Struts. I just need to take a couple years off from the Struts.
Yeah. So that one, it wasn't bad. Started off with Prima Donna Like Me, ran into Body Talks, Kiss This. Off their new album, I Hate How Much I Want You. That's one on the album. They've got Joe Elliott from Def Leppard helping out with the vocals on the chorus.
Right.
Good rockin' little tune. Fire, one night only, the usual stuff they would have. They did a tribute to Charlie Watts. They played Jumpin' Jack Flash, absolutely killed it, and then ended with Could Have Been Me, which I'm sure everybody's heard on the Mercedes commercials.
Right. Yep.
But no, they actually made a lot of new fans that night during the concert because a lot of people had never heard them before, and they go, whoa, these guys are great. And Luke Spiller, their front man, is very flamboyant, out there. He is a front man. He really truly is, and he gets the crowd going. So with them, I do have to give them a 3.5 as well. Just they put on a great show, but I've heard them 3 times in the last 4 years, so kind of drops back. Then Shinedown played for an hour and 45 minutes. All their hits, abso-freaking-lutely phenomenal. These guys are tight, completely blown away. So, I mean, it was Cut the Cord, Unity, Fly from the Inside, State of My Head, 45, Save Me, I'll Follow You, Enemies, Devil, Get Up, Bully, Monsters, Second Chance, Simple Man. That was dedicated to a young man in the crowd who was going into the military. They were informed ahead of time by the kid's parents that he was going in and was at the show right before boot camp. And so they dedicated that to him. That was a really classy move by them. And then ended with Sound of Madness. Oh, loved that set. They get a frickin' 4.
Wow. You get a 4?
They get a 4.
Wow.
They did not miss anything. I would see Shinedown repeatedly. They are. I know why my buddy Jamie has seen them 4 times now. They are that freaking good with the pyrotechnics, the interaction with the crowd. Oh, loved it. So overall, a 3.5. Great night.
And we need more of those here where we live because we live in an area where they don't put on concerts.
No. And this was an outdoor minor league baseball stadium.
Yeah.
And damn, they had it was freaking very well attended. So so damn good.
Yeah, I don't want to hear this crap about liabilities. We're worried about people hurting themselves or getting in fights or getting too drunk.
Yeah. You know
Stop it. Just stop it. We actually stood next to a woman who was a little drunk. It was her very first rock concert. She was in her mid to late 30s, and it was her first show. And so she was asking everybody to take a selfie with her, and she was documenting everything. She was living it up. So kudos to her. It was a hell of a show for her to have as her first time show,
out.
huh?
Yeah.
Wow. Think of how many shows we've seen.
I know. The guy she was with, a friend of hers who brought her, we were going on and on. He's like, holy shit, you guys have seen everybody. I'm like, we're trying.
That's what we do here at Sports Frenzy.
So
the Conquistador, Mrs. C, and the Maestro, we go see everybody every chance we get so we can give you the lowdown on how good or how bad these bands might be.
Yeah. So
then, unfortunately, now we're hitting a dry spell for a couple months.
Yep, we don't have anything until November.
Right, where we see Sebastian Bach doing the entirety of Slave to the Grind. And then, of course, the family reunion.
Jackal.
On Black Friday, we see Jackal, as we always do, the day after Thanksgiving every year. And we will do it every year until the day either they die or we die.
As long as they are performing, we will be there.
That is correct.
There's no surprises. It's just a fun damn show.
That's right. No surprises. It's like going to Thanksgiving dinner with your family, except imagine everybody at the table are strippers. That's how fun it is.
And everybody's drinking brown liquor.
Right. They're all a bunch of dope smoking hippies. All right, couple little music tidbits to wrap up segment 1. And then segment 2, we will review. We have promised it for weeks. Finally going to review Iron Maiden Senjutsu. And Billy Idol's The Roadside.
EP,
right.
4 songs on that one.
But bad news for old rockers in terms of injuries.
Oof.
Ozzy Osbourne goes under the knife.
Hip.
Neck and spine surgery for him.
I thought he was having a hip done.
No,
too.
Elton John's got the hip.
Oh, Elton John's got the hip. That's right.
Elton John's got a hip issue. He had to go under the knife, delaying his European farewell tour, the Goodbye Yellow Brick Road tour, which I still, if I get to the point, like if I go to the doctor here in a couple months and he tells me I'm dying, I will probably spend money to go see Elton John just to say I saw him.
I was fortunate enough to have seen him and Billy Joel together.
Right.
And then locally, Elton John played solo that we were able to see.
But yeah, Ozzy, never seen him. The footage I have seen of him, and we've talked about this.
Put your hands up!
Yeah, I am not a big fan of the whole put your hands up, sing, yell, scream every minute, every second. That's not my job. That's your job, Ozzy.
There are times when you can do it and times when you don't do it.
Right. Right. So
and Iron Maiden hit that perfectly.
Yeah, I'm not
their choruses.
I am not going to shed a tear like for Tom Petty, who I never got to see. If I don't get to see Ozzy, I'm not going to shed a tear. I love Ozzy, but
I will concur with that one.
All right. And just since we saw GNR here to wrap up segment 1, they are now playing another new song I've heard, kind of sneaking in another Chinese democracy era song called Hard School.
Intriguing.
But here's the really fun thing to wrap up segment 1 here on the weekend edition. We got lucky in that Axl was in good shape, feeling pretty good when we saw him.
He was having fun.
In Indianapolis. Well, when he played Wrigley a couple days later, he was throwing up.
Oh, no.
He was throwing up off the stage.
Oh, no.
At Wrigley in Chicago.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
So we got good Axl.
Yeah, we got good Axl. The kids in Chicago got bad Axl.
Nice.
He said he felt great once he,
once he purged.
Yeah, once he purged.
Too much night train.
But yeah, we definitely got good Axl.
Yeah,
so
we did.
Very thankful for that. All right, kids, stay tuned. Next segment, as I mentioned, reviews of Iron Maiden, Billy Idol, and a couple other music tidbits.
Yep, I may have a couple-year-old single that I stumbled upon.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Are you tired of getting body slammed by the mainstream sports media? Are you sick of their lame trash talk? Check out Sports Frenzy 2.0 with a tag team of the Maestro and the Conquistador. Pile drive those jackasses into submission. Available on all major podcast hosts, including Spotify, Anchor, Google, Radio Public, Pocket Cast, Breaker, Apple, Overcast, and CastBox. Kev and Dave slap a figure 4 on all the major sports networks who lie, kiss ass, and refuse to take names. New episodes drop every Thursday with new weekend edition episodes every Saturday. And that's the bottom line, 'cause Sports Frenzy said so. Welcome back to Sports Frenzy 2.0, the weekend edition. We're taping here on the 22nd of September, 2021. This will hit the morning of the 25th because, as always, we want to give you the best movies, music, TV, and streaming recommendations we can to get you through the weekend, especially if you can't get laid.
There you go. Well said.
Gave you our concert reviews last segment. Now it's time
Album reviews.
Talk about some new music.
Should we start off with Mr. Billy Idol?
The 4-song EP, The Roadside.
We touched on the first single off of it not too long ago, Bittersweet.
Bitter Taste.
Or Bitter Taste, yes. Added to that is Rita Hayworth, which that's a rockin' little tune that starts it off. Not bad, not great, just kind of middle of the road. So then Bitter Taste, which I found that's the one I like the most out of the four. It's solid, like we talked about before. Classic Idol. The next two were okay. You Don't Have to Kiss Me, kind of more of a love song type, which it had that classic slow Idol feel to it, which it wasn't bad. The one I was most disappointed with that I thought he could have done so much more was Baby Put Your Clothes Back On. It was so mellow. It should have been more of a Cradle of Love type rock anthem. And that one kind of disappointed me the most.
Yeah, I think you and I are pretty much in tune with this. Billy Idol does not put out a lot of new stuff, so this was a welcome surprise, even though it's only 4 songs. And we got the tease with Bitter Taste, which is just...
It's phenomenal.
It's probably going to be one of my top 5 songs of the year. It's just fun. He sings great.
Sounds good. The lyrics are fantastic.
This is going to sound odd, okay? And bear with me on this. It almost sounds like Billy Idol doing a Bond theme. Especially when he says, there's a million ways to die.
Yeah.
I thought the way it's got that mid-tempo Bond, melodrama, building sense to it. I thought this would be Billy Idol doing a James Bond theme almost. Not quite,
but I could see that.
But Bitter Taste is such an unbelievable song.
It's phenomenal. This is one that you have to listen to. Like I said, Rita Hayworth was okay. The other two, eh.
Yeah, the thing that's I agree with you completely, by the way, on your evaluation of the rest of the EP. The fact that Steve Stevens is involved here, his longtime guitarist during his classic years.
Right.
Butch Walker, again, his producer during those classic times. Rita Hayworth is overproduced. Way overproduced.
It is.
The female vocals, you can barely hear Billy Idol over the female vocals.
Yeah, it was too much.
The problem I have, all 3 of the other songs outside of Bitter Taste, Rita Hayworth, You Don't Have to Kiss Me Like That, and Baby Put Your Clothes Back On, are all, if you can strip them down, they are all great songs, but they're overproduced. The female vocals are too far out ahead in the mix, drowning out Billy.
Yeah.
We can hear in Bitter Taste, he's still got his vocal cords. He still can sing.
And well.
But it sounds like 1, 3, and 4, they don't have enough confidence in him to carry the songs where they overproduce them and they put these female vocal tracks ahead of him.
Yeah.
So I agree completely. Now, I will say this. I thought Baby Put Your Clothes Back On, I will give that a little more credit than you did. I liked it. a little bit more than the other two. It reminded me kind of like a Chris Isaak song. It kind of had that Wicked Game type feel to it.
It did. I just wanted, with a title like that, you expected a little more oomph to it.
Right. But that, if we're going to rank all four of the songs, that was my second.
I agree.
And then the other two, I'd probably go Rita Hayworth, and then You Don't Have to Kiss Me Like That is my least favorite.
I will agree with you on that.
Overall, completely. Two Frenzies.
I went 2.5 just because I love Bitter Taste that much.
Yeah, I know. Bitter Taste really is so good.
Everything up.
Bitter Taste is so good. But I know. 4 songs. And
one
stellar
track and
3 mediocre tracks. I can't go higher than 2.
There you go.
So, all right.
Senjutsu.
Iron Maiden.
Iron Maiden.
10 songs over 2 CDs.
These were some long damn songs on there.
Yeah. Damn.
You're harking back to 70s.
This is like prog rock. Yes.
Big
Rush.
Time.
Yeah.
Pink Floyd. You name it. Senjutsu, the title track, the first one, I thought was really more the classic Iron Maiden, kind of on the mellower side. I liked it. We did Stratego not too long ago. That was okay. Neither one of us were really enthralled with it. Then the third one, The Writing on the Wall.
Which is the first release off of this.
Right.
That was the one, the long video, the animated video.
Yeah, and I actually have to pair this one with Death of the Celts.
Okay.
To me, I felt those two kind of played one into the other, just with the whole vibe of the music, the Irish feel to it, the melody. They just kind of flowed together, which they were okay, but they weren't phenomenal. So they just didn't quite do it for me.
Right.
So, but after Writing on the Wall, then you got Lost in a Lost World. To me, that was too much. Reminded me too much of Pink Floyd. And it was way too damn long. And I will say that's probably my least favorite song on the album. Then you get to Days of Future Past, which I really love that one. So I think that is my favorite on there. It's just got that whole Iron Maiden feel to it. The Time Machine next up, I enjoyed. That's probably my second favorite one on there. Darkest Hour was pretty good. And then as I said, Death of the Celts is there. The Parchment was good, but again, it's way too damn long for what it was. And then finishing off with Hell on Earth was pretty decent. So it's probably in the top half of what it was.
So what do you give it?
So overall, I'm giving it a 2. There just wasn't enough in there for me to love.
All right, now I'm going to break this down, and I have a feeling that we're going to be different yet similar on this. I think. Let me not keep you kids in suspense. I agree completely with the overall rating that the Conquistador gave Senjutsu. I give it 2 Frenzies. I have listened to this album 5 or 6 times. I have tried and tried and tried. 10 songs over 2 CDs. Here's where the difference lies, is I think he and I like different songs. I think the album starts out really weak with Senjutsu. I think it's probably my least favorite song on the album. But I also don't like Stratego all that much. It's okay. It's not great. It's okay. The Writing on the Wall, same thing. I think the album starts to get better when you hit Lost in a Lost World. Then I start to hear more of the classic Iron Maiden. The guitar kicks in more.
Yeah.
I just, Bruce Dickinson, I know he's had health issues. He just doesn't sound strong vocally like he used to.
Yeah.
And it might be because maybe he's too far back in the mix. Maybe they're not pushing his vocals up far enough in the mix. But the funny one is Days of Future Past, where you said you loved that one. I needed to listen to that song. I grew to like it more and more as I listened to it. At first, I didn't like it. Then the second, third time, I liked it. By the fourth time, it was one of my favorites. So I get you on that. And a Time Machine, one of my two favorites as well. Darkest Hour is okay. Death of the Celts is okay. Parchment, okay. Hell on Earth is good. Nice closing track. But I agree. This is a Two Frenzy album. It's just, when an album is hard to listen to, you feel like you're working.
Yeah. That's not good if you have to slog through it.
You feel like you're trying to do something, like a chore for a best friend. You're trying to do something you don't want to do on a football weekend. You could be watching a football game you want to watch. You're helping your friend.
But you're putting in a new frickin' dishwasher.
Right. You know you're doing something good. You're trying to help a friend out, but at the same time, you're like, God, isn't there anything better I could be doing?
Yeah. And
that's the impression I get from Senjutsu, is that this is not classic Iron Maiden.
No.
I appreciate the effort. They sound like they're trying as hard as they can to put out a great album, but it's just, and we talked about this. This is not Aces High. This is not The Trooper. There's nothing catchy on this album that really grabs you and takes you by the balls and says, here we go.
We're off. Yeah. It's
So Dave and I are in agreement on that one.
So, and I listened to this one on Spotify. And when it was done, the next song that popped up was a very, very pleasant surprise. It rolled right into Life's a Bitch, a 2019 single from Accept. Yes, Accept. Balls to the wall. But Life's a Bitch, damn, that took me by surprise. Very good rockin' song. I highly recommend checking it out. That one as a single alone, I will give a 3.5. It just hit me. I don't know if it was coming off of just having listened to Senjutsu, but I would like to get your opinion, Maestro.
Yep, give me a week. I'll listen to it.
But no, I really, really thought Life's a Bitch was a really solid entry from Accept.
I know this is not one you would never listen to. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. I think you almost spit in my face.
Would I do that?
But I would like you to listen to this song. Just Eddie Vedder's first single off of Earthling, Long Way. Okay?
I'm writing it down.
Because if you listen to it, all I want you to listen to is what happens after the first minute. Because it turns into a goddamn Tom Petty song. I swear to you, it is Tom Petty after the first minute. I'm not saying it's a great song. I'm not saying it's a fantastic song, but
I will give it a shot.
Listen to it and you tell me if it's not Eddie Vedder morphing into Tom Petty.
I will give it a try.
I did listen to the second release from Jerry Cantrell's Brighton. Of course, the mastermind behind Alice in Chains.
Yes.
Love the first song, Atone. Not so impressed with the second song, the title track, Brighton. So hopefully we'll pick it back up for the album, which comes out here in a couple weeks.
Which I'm sure we will be giving you all a review of.
Oh, yeah, we got reviews coming. We've got reviews coming, kids. Bitter as I am, I will bring this up. The Genesis tour started over in England this past week.
Hey, at least we got to see them.
We saw them years ago before they broke up in Cleveland. Got to see the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Very cool.
Yep, it was a good rock weekend.
Yes. All I can tell you guys is what I had to go through to try to get tickets to see them in Chicago, the first date of the limited run they're doing in the U.S. was unbelievably frustrating. And again, this explains why I hate Ticketmaster and Live Nation beyond all belief.
And this is a band that overpriced themselves.
They did, yes.
For where they are at this point.
Right. Yeah. Minimal prices with fees would have been $100.
Yeah.
For upper deck.
Like last 3 rows upper deck at the United Center on the opposite end of the stage.
So, as much as I am upset that we didn't get tickets, I am happy that we didn't overpay.
Yes.
But frustrated that the process didn't give us the chance to actually even get the tickets, make the choice to get the tickets, which is always why I hate Live Nation and Ticketmaster.
Yeah. They screw you at the ticket purchase.
Yes, Mr. Pesci, they do. I want to give a little bit of holiday cheer to you before we wrap up segment 2.
Halloween cheer?
Holiday cheer. No, not Halloween. Christmas. Christmas is coming.
Dude, you're way too ahead of your
Christmas
time.
is coming, Dave. Guess who's putting out a Christmas album?
Now who is? We've had Twisted Christmas by Twisted Sister.
Yeah, not that cool. Not
that cool.
No. But somebody who...
Please tell me it's not Vince Neil.
No, but you're getting close.
Oh, God.
Steve Perry.
Oh, God. Well, that might not be horrible.
Steve Perry is putting out a Christmas album on the 5th of November. I just have problems with him. He's like Peter Cetera with Chicago.
Oh,
you know,
God.
They broke off on their own to do their own thing. They had a little tiny window of success. Yet if they'd stayed with the goddamn band,
they had 2
that made them famous.
They had 2 songs each.
Yes.
And that was it.
Yeah. Why do you think Michael McDonald came back to the Doobie Brothers?
Because he couldn't hack it on his own.
Peter Cetera should be in Chicago. Steve Perry should still be singing for Journey.
Egos get
now
away.
We get a Christmas album. Dennis DeYoung.
No,
he's the next one, right?
Dennis DeYoung.
Actually, Styx is better without him.
They are. By far, Dennis DeYoung was the worst thing to happen to Styx.
Yes. All right, we have got movie reviews coming up next. Cry Macho.
And I will give you Let Him Go, which the maestro had done already.
Stay tuned, kids. We'll be right back.
In a world of politically correct sports coverage, two individuals stand alone as the last bastion of sanity. The Maestro and the Conquistador star in Sports Frenzy 2.0, the podcast.
Available on Spotify, Anchor, Google, Radio Public, Pocket Cast, Breaker, Apple, Overcast, and Castbox.
Hey kids, welcome back to the weekend edition of Sports Frenzy 2.0. I'm the Conquistador Dave Height.
I'm the Maestro, Kevin Crane.
And we're going to start you off with our movie reviews here as we record on September 22nd. Should we start off with the Mutual, Cry Macho?
Yep, just came out last Friday as we tape this on the 22nd of September.
Yep, Clint Eastwood's latest film.
Produced and directed.
Which he does a lot of.
Well, not lately, though.
Not lately.
No, and star. He doesn't star in and direct.
Right. It's been a while since he's done all three.
Right.
So
I was supposing, after what we saw years ago with Gran Torino and with Unforgiven, that this might be him wrapping up Bronco Billy. I still don't think I'm completely wrong.
I will argue that you are.
So you
kind of.
Are you going to stick with Philo Beto or saying it's nothing altogether?
I am going a completely different route.
Okay.
With this one. So basically, this is a retired rodeo star who's been working with horses for his boss. Fired, and then the boss comes and says, go down to Mexico and find my son. Bring him back.
And basically, he owes him because he's been paying. The boss has been paying his mortgage, his rent, his living expenses.
Pulled him basically out of the abyss after his family was killed in an auto accident, and he went off the rails. So this one, he goes down, visits the mother, finds the kid, and the road trip back to Texas. This one reminded me more of Honky Tonk Man.
Okay.
Had that vibe where he's in Honky Tonk Man. He was the uncle to the boy, and they're trying to do the music tour. And that was with his son, Kyle. So this kind of had more of that road trip bonding vibe to me.
I can see that. We talked about this off mic. You haven't seen The Mule yet.
No, not yet.
And I know Clint's getting old.
He's 90.
And he's spreading out his movies more and more. You know, obviously he can't do a movie a year.
Right.
Obviously got to give himself some time. And I was not a huge fan of The Mule, even though it did really well at the box office. And it would have been a fitting swan song for him, even though I didn't like it.
Yeah.
But I would have been happy because it did so well and made so much money. And now with the way things are with the pandemic and the HBO Max, you know, this is going to go down as a failure for him. Because it's not going to make any money, and they're saying it didn't get enough people watching it on HBO Max. But we talked about this. The adult movies aren't doing well during the pandemic.
Right.
You know,
they're just not.
Reminiscence didn't do well. The Little Things didn't do well.
Yeah. Because
it's all about the kids. It's all about the big showy action, Mortal Kombat, Godzilla versus Kong, you know,
It's the ADD.
We got The Matrix coming. We got Dune coming.
It's the ADD society.
So a movie like this will slip through the cracks because it is a basic human story.
Yeah, it's a bonding, growing up. It's your coming of age for a young boy, and it's an older guy finding his youth.
Right.
Something to live for again.
Right. And it's well done, but I thought it was really slow.
It did progress at a slow rate.
I like the ending to a point. I like the ending for Clint Eastwood's character.
Yeah.
He finds happiness. He finds love.
Yeah. I did not like how it just left the kid.
The kid gets left off in the middle of who we don't know if he's, even though Clint Eastwood keeps saying he's a really good guy, he's a really nice guy. We've never been shown in the limited interactions we've seen with him if he actually is a nice guy.
He seems like a douchebag.
But the mother's no better.
Oh, the mother is, she's a slut.
Yeah. So it bothered me, like you said, that they left the kid in limbo at the end.
Yeah. Because that I thought was the whole point of the movie, was the two of them bonding, and it was not the ending I was hoping for.
The only thing I can figure is that Clint knows, his character knows he's old. Yeah. He's only got a limited time left on the earth. He's going to take love where he can find it. And unfortunately for the kid, he knows he can't watch over the kid.
Right. He's done everything he can to get the kid out of an awful situation into what should be a better situation.
Right. But we don't know that.
We don't know.
It's very ambiguous. We don't know. And it's frustrating. It is really frustrating.
It was. It was a bittersweet ending.
Right.
I was happy for Clint's character. I was left sad for the kid.
And we still don't know, and we're not trying to spoil things for you. We still don't know at the end if Clint is free and clear.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot left on the table.
Right. So definitely not one of his best. I would only give it 2 frenzies.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah. Hate to say it. If this is his last movie, I hate to say this is his last movie.
Because it's
not terrible.
It's not horrible, but it's not what you would expect from him.
He could do so much better.
So much better. The pacing could have been picked up, definitely.
And I think what he needs to look at, as iconic as a figure on the big screen as he is, bear with me. I could almost see him in a Tarantino type supporting role to finish off his career.
Yeah,
just one of those big showy,
one of those big,
5 or 10 minute roles.
Down.
Yeah.
Where he harkens back, where he is Dirty Harry.
Because as I mentioned, I saw the Mule, and the Mule was a letdown for me too. So between the Mule and now Cry Macho, I know he's 90. I get it.
But still, come on. It's Clint Eastwood.
He could pull off a guest role in a big, like you said, a big showy, violent movie. Probably get an Oscar nomination.
Yeah. Go back to what you are.
But I know he wants to do the movies he wants to do. He wants to direct. He wants to star in the movies. He wants to control his path.
Yeah.
And I get it. But wow, would it be something if he just the last role he was in
harkens back to The Man with No Name, Dirty Harry.
Something dirty, nasty.
Roll in everything that built him up, the whole Philo Beto, the comedy, the brutality,
Right.
the badassness of
And he's
everything he embodied.
And I get he's trying to embrace mortality with these last two movies. I get it. But he did that with Gran Torino to me.
Yeah,
Gran Torino was the penultimate commentary on, he went out on his own terms.
Yeah.
And it was brilliant and it was fantastic. It's
and
almost
then we
like
get
yeah, the Mule was draggy and boring, and now this is kind of draggy and boring. I mean, we're always going to love Clint, but
yeah. This one, about halfway through, I hit the pause button at one point. I'm like, oh my God, I'm only 45 minutes into this. I still have an hour to go.
Well, you know what I think a good comparison is? What about John Wayne in The Shootist? You know?
Yeah, that was kind of draggy as well.
Yeah, but at least that was...
But
he ended his career
with that one as the gunfighter.
Right.
He went out in a blaze
Everybody
of glory.
remembers that John Wayne ended his film career in a blaze of glory.
Yeah.
I think Clint needs to do that.
Yeah, he does.
Now, will it diminish if he does not do another movie again? It will never diminish him to me.
No.
But I would like to see him end it on one big, massive flourish of violence.
Yeah. I will say I will give props to them when they were going through all the photos and awards he had in his house. The still pictures they had of him from Rawhide as Rowdy Yates on the horse. Did you pick those up?
Yeah. Yep.
That was perfect.
Yep.
I love that detail. That was...
So could this have been
the Rowdy Yates finale? A combination honky tonk man Rawhide.
That could be very interesting to delve into. Was this Rowdy Yates? Wow, that could be the one.
That could be it.
Because I will always believe Clint Eastwood is smarter than us. He is wrapping up all these characters.
Yeah.
So maybe this was Rowdy Yates. Good call, Conquistador. Very good call.
Yeah, maybe that picture told the tale right there.
Wow.
Because they did kind of focus on it more so than the other ones.
Very good call. Very good call. So this could be Rowdy Yates' ending. Not Bronco Billy. Not Honky Tonk Man.
But Rowdy.
Wow. That would be awesome. All right.
Deep thoughts, kids.
You have to catch up.
I do. Let Him Go. The Kevin Costner, Diane Lane thriller trying to get their grandson and former daughter-in-law back from the evil family. When you reviewed it, I kind of chimed in through the first hour that I thought it was a real slow buildup. And I had to stop. Picking it up the next 10, 20 minutes or so kind of was like, okay, it's starting to build a little bit, but damn, the ending of that was holy crap.
Yeah.
And the whole buildup was almost worth it. But the final 25 minutes of that movie was really good, with the exception of the whispering stuff. They got a little sappy here and there, but overall the ending to it was really damn good. So it kind of redeemed itself there. I was gonna probably just give it 1.5 to 2.
Wow, you're harsh.
I was harsh. I was really not digging it through the first hour. But I will go 2.5 overall on Let 'Em Go.
Now, see, yeah, I thought it was better than that. I did.
The build up part stuff in it just didn't do it for me. So
yeah, and the whole I love Jeffrey Donovan. Love him. Love him. Going back to Burn Notice.
Yep, everything he's done, be it a good guy or a bad guy,
right?
Donovan is phenomenal.
The whole, kind of had a little bit too much for me at times with the whole Deliverance feel. You almost wanted to. You almost could wait for the banjos playing in the background.
There was a lot of cringe. It's like, oh, don't do this cliche bullshit.
Yeah, hey, Ma, we're gonna do what you want, even though it's completely and totally against the law and wrong.
Yeah. So there were parts, like I said, that it was just, oh, come on, really?
I just thought Costner and Lane were really good.
They were. But I'm looking at the overall storyline and the pacing and some of the stuff going through it. But it did redeem itself in the end.
And not trying to spoil things, but again, I'm trying to point out how other people are trying to spoil things. Why the hell in the poster, the one poster for the movie, the one image they show on HBO Max, do they basically give away the ending?
Because they're idiots.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I didn't see it, but I can imagine what it was.
Yeah, they show the house on fire in the background. So you know what's coming at some point.
But that still doesn't put the one poignant moment.
Right. No, but it still wrecks a lot of the ending.
It does. That kind of lets it down. So I thought they could have done more with the Indian.
Yeah.
At the end.
He was an interesting character.
He was a great character.
But you're right. They didn't do anything.
They ruined a great potential there for the end. They just kind of, okay, thanks, bye. Really? That's it? That's all you get?
Well, the thing is, he plays a very important part, but at the same time, he's kind of a random character. I mean, he really doesn't fit in what's going on in the whole thing.
No, but
he's like the good Samaritan that comes in and they use him to get through to the point where they can
see. But I thought where they were going, the chemistry of the characters and the connection made, I thought that would have
been creepy. I know where you're going. That would have been creepy.
Well,
that would have been creepy.
Maybe a little bit here and there.
That would have been creepy. Stop it. Just because you love Diane Lane like that doesn't.
That's not where I was going. Not for that.
I think that's where you were going.
No, not replacing one, but the other.
No. All right, I'm going to do a little bit of TV news before we move on.
Before we give our weekly updates?
Yes. I know you don't really like the Paranormal Activity movies, but
I liked the first one.
Well,
and I thought they went a little overboard after that.
Well, the next one's going to be on Paramount Plus, so there you go.
F them.
Next of Kin is the next Paranormal Activity movie that will be on Paramount Plus October the 24th. Remember we were talking about going back to movies? The Porsche from Risky Business?
Yes.
Going on auction?
The U-boat?
Uh-huh. Remember how I wanted to.
You put a bid on it?
remember how I told you that they said that that type of Porsche, that model,
The
that year
928.
would have gone in good condition for roughly $75,000. $2 million. It went for $2 million.
Good God. And it's an ugly design.
I got it. Not really. No.
Not really.
No. I got the cigarette
It's
lighter.
one of the ugly designs of a Porsche.
$2 million.
Wow.
75,000 normal, decent shape and value. It went for $2 million. I knew it was going to go for something like that. I knew it.
Because it's a movie car.
Yeah.
There you go.
You got HBO Max, right?
I do have HBO Max.
Guess what? A lot of other people are going to get it for half off for the next 6 months, but you're not, and I'm not.
Because we already signed up and they want to try and get more people involved.
Right.
I want a fucking refund. You hear that, HBO Max? I want a freaking refund.
Because they're upset because Amazon dumped them. As someone, you could go to Amazon and you could sign up for HBO Max. Amazon said no more. So now, because they're going to they're going to lose.
I didn't go through Amazon to sign up for HBO
I went on the
Max.
web. I went straight through the website.
I went to HBO Max and signed up that way. Where's my kickback,
No,
bitch?
we don't get a kickback because only the people that they lost on HBO Max or any of these other little, you sign up through Roku or the Amazon Fire Stick, you get 6 months half off.
Kiss my ass, HBO.
This is what's wrong with the model with these streaming services. You're going to piss off Dave. You're going to piss me off because where's our discount? Where's our refund? It's just like the vaccinations. We did the right thing. We did the right thing and got vaccinated. Now you're giving people money to get vaccinated. Where's my money?
Where's my entry into the frickin' lottery?
Yeah. No, again, we get screwed because we're faithful, loyal customers.
They fuck you when you're loyal.
Yes, Mr. Pesci, they do. Weren't we talking about the Lost Boys in the car coming back from Judas Priest?
We were, actually.
Huh? Well, guess what?
Are they rebooting it?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Here's the good thing, though. As we wrap up this segment, it was going to be on the CW.
Oh, sweet Jesus, that would have killed it.
They decided to go with Kung Fu instead. So now they're moving it.
Kung Fu is destroyed.
So they moved it over to now a full feature. So at least it has a hope, a shot.
Some semblance
of being better. If it had gone to the CW, oh my God.
Stop rebooting the classics. Come up with a new freaking idea.
Well, and that brings me to Daniel Craig.
Who summed it up beautifully.
The most intelligent man in Hollywood is Daniel Craig.
Amen to that.
Who has said what we have been saying for months and months and months. You don't have to make James Bond a woman. Why don't you make better roles for women like James Bond?
Exactly.
Shocking how smart that is. Shocking.
What? We have to do something new?
An original?
What? No. Morons run Hollywood.
We'll get more into that in the last segment here on the weekend edition with the Maestro and the Conquistador. Stay tuned.
We got some TV updates and we've got a book review.
Yes, as always,
with our moments of
weekly
silence.
TV updates. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Listen to Sports Frenzy 2.0, the weekend edition, on Spotify, Anchor, Google, Radio Public, Pocket Cast, Breaker, Apple, Overcast, and Castbox. as the Maestro and Conquistador give their reviews and news on music, movies, TV, books, and more every Saturday. They can't help themselves. They have no control over this need to talk and scream. It's inside them. The fire, the voices, the torment.
Hey kids, I'm the Conquistador Dave Height.
With the maestro Kevin Crane.
And in this segment of the weekend edition of Sports Frenzy 2.0, we're going to start off with a book review. I just finished Enemy at the Gates, Vince Flynn's American assassin Mitch Rapp's latest adventure, written by Kyle Mills. This one is a little different from the normal storylines. Mitch has taken some time away to spend with his girlfriend and her daughter as he gets away from the CIA missions as a new president comes into power for the country. And Mitch comes on with his buddy Scott Coleman, his private security army. They're brought on to protect a trillionaire do-gooder who's trying to bring peace, harmony, and everything else to the world. Somebody who works for him trying to combat all sorts of different pandemic viruses, goes missing in Africa, chased by a warlord. So once they find the guy, there's an attempt on everybody's life by the warlord, who's getting information from the Saudis, who are getting it from the top reaches of the American government. Top level, hint, hint. So Mitch and company have to do the protection thing. They've run the whole gambit of playing dead and trying to figure out what's going on. Wow. This is probably the best storyline in this series in years. It's phenomenal. The ending is a holy crap, they actually went there moment. It's going to take you by surprise. It sets it up for the next book or two. Where are they going to go? How are they going to pull this off? It's a nonstop. I couldn't put it down. I'm giving this one 3.5.
Nice.
This one is very well done. I can't do it justice in the review without giving too much away. There's just so much going on.
And the thing that Dave and I always talk about, which we were talking about off mic here, is that when you take over a character or a series like this.
This is Kyle's third, maybe fourth book that he's done, and he does a phenomenal job.
And we talk about this with Robert B. Parker, with the Cole Hitch novels, with the Spencer novels. Obviously, the Jesse Stone novels are a mess because they keep switching authors every 2 or 3 books. But we look back at Vincent Lardo doing Lawrence Sanders, Archie McNally books. When you pick the right guy or the right woman to carry on, and
they don't miss a beat, this has been seamless. And I will say this is a different storyline, brilliantly done. And it throws everything you thought you knew about the Mitch Rapp universe on its head.
All right, kids, check it out.
Well worth the read.
Time to move on to our fun TV reviews for the week.
Update time, baby.
The shows that we always update for you every week, whether you like it or not. Titans,
The battle for Jason's soul.
The Scarecrow's plan comes to fruition in the past episode.
Yes, he winds up getting what he wants, and now the fallout will ensue starting this week.
And anybody, we know Red Hood is going to end up being something of a decent guy, a hero at the end.
Yeah. And you saw it in this last episode where he's at odds with himself and he wants to come home.
Right.
It's no surprise what's going to happen if you know the comics.
Right.
But still, brilliantly done.
Yeah, Titans is still kicking it, taking names, kicking out of the ballpark. What We Do in the Shadows goes to Atlantic City in episode 4.
Viva Atlantic City.
Ain't that a kick in the head, baby? Frank said I should be the lead singer. Great episode.
All we will say is the vampires should not sing. Period. Ever.
And Guillermo gets the worst transcontinental vacation of all time.
Oh my God.
Even though I think he loved it.
He did. He got to go to Europe, but it was a rapid, I have to get the home dirt for each of my vampires.
Yeah.
Wow.
Great episode. Great episode.
And never have I seen a boxing match where somebody literally knocked their head off.
Ain't that a kick in the head, baby?
The vampires' casino trip did not disappoint.
Now, I have watched the first 4 episodes of Why the Last Man on Hulu. Of course, being a big comic book guy, this is one I had to watch. And I am not disappointed yet. It's very, very good. You would think that it would turn into PC crap with the subject matter, but it is not. Maybe because when it was originally written, we didn't have all this crap going on. When Why the Last Man was written, we did not have all the PC garbage, the cancel culture stuff going on. So it's not like this is some kind of diatribe about women good, men bad. They do not make this out to be like that. It's basically a straightforward action vehicle, where it's more about who takes power, who takes control. I do find it a little bit ridiculous that somehow the one, and I'm not going to spoil this for you, it's in the first episode.
It's in the title.
Right. The first and only guy who survives this pandemic that wipes out all the men happens to be the son of the president.
Oh.
Sorry, that's a little ridiculous.
That's a little ridiculous. It should just be some ordinary Joe Schmo.
Right. And somehow ends up being somebody so closely tied to the government that now they sit there and go, oh, well, what are we going to do? How can we protect him when the people are going to know it's your son and you're the president?
Hey, kids.
That's just a little too much.
Hey, kids, a little hint from your Uncle Dave. Rule 1, never trust the government.
But outside of that, I liked it. Very good so far through 4 episodes.
Cool. This last week, we also have had the season premiere of one of our favorite comedies from Broken Lizard guys. Tacoma FD is back, baby.
Quarantine.
Achoo! Super Secret Quarantine.
Grow your sideburns. If you can.
Oh, God.
Tacoma FD is undervalued and underrated beyond all belief.
Yes, quarantine. The firefighters wind up trying to help somebody out who was attacked by their capuchin monkey who had monkey flu, and they thought they were exposed, so they had to quarantine.
And at the end, they get pink eye.
Yep. 4 words. Virtual reality Reba McEntire.
Oh, my God. Oh,
It's hysterical.
There are some things that happen in this episode that I could not deal with. You know, trying to be as nice of a guy as I could when the brother-in-laws are sleeping together. Oh, my God. I could not put up with that.
Nope.
Oh, my God.
I'm eating my...
The sweat and the farts and everything. Oh, Jesus.
I'm eating my pastrami, salami, and cheese sandwich, which makes me gaseous and gives me the sweats. Oh, well, I still sleep in the nude. Here, put these over on the table.
Oh, my God.
They torment the hell out of each other, and it's hysterical. So
right.
Good.
Couple other movie notes, news, tidbits before we wrap up. Eddie Murphy signed a 3-picture deal with Amazon, which of course means Beverly Hills Cop 4 will be next up.
Ooh, Axel returns.
Axel will return on Amazon Prime.
Excellent. As long as they bring Billy back.
I don't know. I do not know.
Judge Reinhold better be back as Billy.
But that is confirmed to be the next Eddie Murphy movie on Amazon Prime. Will be Beverly Hills Cop 4.
We can
but
only
even
hope.
better. Bruce Campbell.
Yes.
Has a new
Bruce
horror movie coming out. Black Friday.
Nice.
Where he is trapped in a toy store on Black Friday with toy store employees where the customers have been infected with an alien parasite.
Are they in S-Mart? Shop smart. Shop S-Mart.
Anything with Bruce Campbell has got to be good.
It's going to be awesome. It's going to be so good.
All right, let's do our moments of silence.
Yeah, there's one that I didn't have written down that I know just popped.
Well, classic actress Jane Powell passed away. Sarah Dash, who sang Lady Marmalade from La Belle, also passed away. Now people are making a big deal about Willie Garson, who was in White Collar and Sex and the City.
You know,
Don't really care.
Liked him in White Collar. We watched that regularly. Him playing Maz. He was a great character actor. So I will give that one up there. You know, I didn't get to give my kudos to Michael K. Williams from The Wire, who also was on Sundance's Hap and Leonard.
Yeah,
Guy
I talked about this last week,
phenomenal.
but yeah, you and I both loved him.
He was awesome.
He was perfect as Leonard.
He
perfect.
He was
Leonard.
so good in everything he did.
In The Wire, you've still got to watch The Wire.
I still have to watch
He's
The Wire.
phenomenal in The Wire.
So that will be good. Art Matrano, if you want to go back to comedies, if you want to go to Police Academy, he played Sergeant Mauser, who was the foil to Steve Guttenberg's character Mahoney, has passed away.
Well, the one that you didn't get to comment on last week
Norm Macdonald.
is Norm. Yeah.
Oh my God, the comic. Norm Macdonald was brilliant. Loved everything he did, from his Saturday Night Live weekend updates, playing Burt Reynolds on Celebrity Jeopardy. Who couldn't laugh at Turd Ferguson? Come on. And then his run on My Name is Earl. This is a guy who lived for the comedy joke. He would go on and on building up for the ultimate punchline. And he gave up his career getting fired from SNL because he would not stop with the O.J. Simpson jokes. And I respect the hell out of him for standing up for what he believed in on the comedy front. God, is he going to be missed.
He was one of the last ones. You know, they're still shoving SNL people down our throats. But you have to go back 20, 25 years to that group with Norm Macdonald, where these were the people that actually were talented. They were funny. They knew how to act in movies. They knew what they were. These idiots
The
in
ones
SNL
they got now are awful.
The Verizon commercial. She's on every 5 minutes now.
She's not good.
McKinnon, great.
Good for
awesome.
you.
Good for you.
You're not
You're
funny.
getting tens of thousands of dollars to do Verizon commercials. You're not funny. You're never going to be funny.
No, not even close. So
none of you are going to be, what was it? Sudeikis is probably the last one
probably
that came out
that was
of SNL that actually has been big.
Yeah. And continues to be funny.
Nobody cares about who's on that show anymore. You can talk about and give it all the awards you want. Talk about it all you want in the media. Give it every Emmy every year you want.
You can
since it doesn't have any competition.
Try and build it up, but it hasn't been any good for
20 years.
20 years. It's been a wasteland.
Norm was one of the last ones that got it.
Yeah.
Norm was one of the last ones that understood what the platform was and what the show was meant to be.
Yeah.
And that's like Dave said. No, you can't make fun of OJ because he's my friend.
Yeah, well, guess what? OJ deserved to be made fun of.
Yes. And the jokes that Norm came up with were hysterical beyond belief.
Yes, they were. And I believe I read he had the distinction of being Letterman's last guest, which is saying something.
And like I said last week, how about the fact that he had cancer for 9 years and didn't tell anybody?
Yeah.
And kept it under wraps. Whereas other people like Kathy Griffin.
Look at me. I'm suffering.
Yeah, let me tell you every day about what I'm going through.
Guess what, Kathy? You should have gone. Norm should still be here.
Exactly. It's a shame. It's a travesty.
You're not funny. You're a horrible individual.
You should be in jail for the crap you pulled with the Trump bloody head. You and Madonna should share a cell for that crap.
Exactly.
Yeah, we have to put up with you two idiots day after day after day, and Norm is gone. It's bullshit beyond belief.
So,
well, since we're on such a negative rant, can we go to the dumbasses or not?
Well, I was going to say we got Just Pop Tim Donnelly, one of the paramedics and firefighters from Emergency, passed away.
Wow. Going way back.
Al Harrington, one of the guys from Hawaii Five-0, the original and the reboot, passed away.
Okay, I'll give him credit for the original, not the reboot.
Yeah. And then Melvin Van Peebles.
Is that Mario's dad?
Mario's dad. known for his film Sweet Sweetback's Badass Song.
Yep.
One of the guys who made blaxploitation films popular.
Very cool. And again, blaxploitation movies weren't racist.
No, that's thoughts and prayers to everybody's family.
So my
And
dumbasses are basically going to be Hollywood this week.
The norm.
Yeah. So the Emmys, we just had those the last weekend.
We had the Emmys?
Yeah.
Really? I didn't hear anything about them.
No masks. They had the ceremonies with no masks, even though they were
California is under
Yes.
a mask order.
Right.
When you're inside.
Oh, no. But Gavin Newsom was kept in office. You know, they all laughed. Ha, ha, ha. The recall didn't happen. Here, we've got our idiot governor back, so we can do what we want. So they have the Emmys. No masks. Yet, somehow, the awards went to all white people. There was no diversity.
Really?
Yes.
Isn't that against everything Hollywood's supposed to be standing
Right, because
for?
the Oscars just this same week sent out their notices to all the movie producers, all the movie companies saying, if you're going to submit a movie for the Oscars coming up, you've got
to have
racial quotas, gender quotas.
LGBTQ.
Yep. You better follow the rules. I'm going to tell you something, kids. Hollywood, I never
They're
thought
the
I
most
would.
hypocritical asshats
They're evil.
ever.
They are evil. I sound like an evangelical Christian or something, but I'm not trying to. But they're evil. All they care about are themselves. They don't care about you.
It's me.
You pay your money to watch them on HBO Max or go to see them in the theater, and they don't give one rat's ass. They laugh at you. They laugh at you.
They say, do as I say, not as I do.
And the worst example of this to me, to wrap up this week, somebody who I really respect, Kate Winslet. Somebody I just watched Mare of Easttown. Unbelievably good. Unbelievably good. And I wish it would have won more awards than it did. And it did win a decent share.
Yeah.
Including Kate Winslet. She's got to come out and say, women have to watch each other's backs. Here's my question. Hollywood, you claim you care about everybody. You claim you care about all of us. Yet you are the most divisive. You say women only should care about women. Black people should only care about black people. LGBTQ should only care about LGBTQ. You are the most divisive organization, group of people in the world. And you get into each and every one of our homes every week spouting this nonsense. Kate Winslet says women need to watch each other's backs. That's divisive. So you're saying men are evil is what you're saying by that. When you have these quotas for the Oscars, you're saying white men don't matter because it's got to be a certain amount of ethnicity, a certain amount of homosexuality, a certain amount of female. That's not how creativity works. So if a white guy comes to you with the greatest story of all time, the greatest movie of all time, you're going to turn him away because he doesn't have the right amount of black people, Asian people, Mexican people, women in the story. You are a bunch of scumbags. You are a bunch of scumbags. You are evil. I never thought I would say this, but Hollywood is evil. They are trying to turn us all against each other with this crap.
And yet you look at the winners of these, and it's not diverse at all. There you go. That is Hollywood in a nutshell.
I just want to ask Kate Winslet, hey, women need to look out for each other. What if I say men need to look out for each other? What are you going to say about that? Oh, that's misogynistic. Bullshit. I'm looking out for my brother's back. I'm looking out for the conquistador's back. He's looking out for mine. Does that make us evil? Does that make us bad? But goddamn, if a white guy goes up there and says something like that in acceptance speech and says, I'm looking out for my white brother's back.
And
oh my God,
what?
he's in the Ku Klux Klan. He's a racist.
Guess what? I'm looking out for my wife. I'm looking out for my niece. I'm looking out for my mom, my mother-in-law, the women I work with.
We should all look out for each other. That's the point. Stop making it women looking out for women.
Stop being divisive.
African Americans looking out for African Americans. We should all be looking out for each other. Can't you get that through your thick, goddamn, stupid skulls? You're the ones that are causing the problems. And until you understand that, until you realize that, we're screwed. I've got the conquistadors back.
I've got the maestros back.
That's it for the weekend edition. Sports Frenzy 2.0. We will see you next week with a review of News of the World.
News of the World.
With Tom Hanks on HBO.
And whatever else we come up with.
Might be the new Tremonti album. I think that could be on the horizon. So we hope you enjoyed this weekend edition. Check us out next week. Always check out the regular Sports Frenzy 2.0 podcast. Everywhere. Google, Apple, Breaker, Pocket Cast.
Everywhere. Rate us. Send us a comment. Acknowledge us, please.
What are we, Roman Reigns? Acknowledge me. Head of the table.
That's right.
Dave just made a wrestling reference, even though he doesn't realize it.
Guess
Acknowledge me.
I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it.
All right, kids. We'll see you next week. Take care.